Ladies and gentlemen, young and old, listen closely. There comes a time in every life when the road gets hard, the nights grow long. The voices around us say, "You can't make it. The weight is heavy, and the mountain seems too high." But let me tell you something today. Failure is not final unless you quit. And so I urge you, never give up. You see, life is a journey marked not just by victories, but by the lessons in our defeats. No man or woman ever grew strong without resistance. The muscles of your mind and spirit are built in the trials, not the triumphs. Education teaches us about great inventors, scientists, and leaders, those who achieved the impossible. But what they don't always tell you is how many times these people failed. Edison tried over 1,000 times before creating the light bulb, but he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work." That's not failure. That's education in motion. Persistence is not a personality trait. It is a decision. It is a decision. Every single morning you decide to keep walking. Every single moment you choose whether to stay down or rise again. Children fall many times before they learn to walk, and we clap, we cheer, we encourage, but when adults fall, we criticize, we judge. My friend, don't listen to the critics. My friend, don't listen to the critics. Keep learning, keep rising. Let failure be your teacher, not your undertaker. In the classroom of life, the tests are tough, but here's the truth. Those who pass are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who never quit. And you, yes you, have the strength to keep going. You are not alone. You were not created for defeat. You were created with purpose, with resilience, with potential that is waiting to be unlocked if you keep pressing forward. Failure is one of the most misunderstood concepts in the journey of human growth. Most people fear it, avoid it, and when it comes, they let it define their self-worth. But failure, in its truest sense, is not a sign that you are finished. It is simply feedback, a message that something didn't work this time. The problem begins when we allow that message to become a label, a name we carry with shame. Failure is not final unless you quit. It's only when you give up that it becomes permanent. Let's take a moment to understand how many of the world's most respected minds failed, and failed miserably, before they broke through. Thomas Edison, the man who gave us electric light, failed over 1,000 times before he succeeded. But did he see it as failure? No. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." What set him apart was not his intelligence or resources, it was his refusal to quit. He understood that the path to success is paved with failed attempts, each one drawing him closer to the answer. His story is not unique, but it is rarely told in full in classrooms. We hear about the invention, not the pain, persistence, and pressure that preceded it. Quitting, on the other hand, is a decision. It's when you decide to stop moving forward, to stop trying, to stop believing. The danger is not in falling down, it's in staying down. Life will knock you off your feet. People will doubt you. Circumstances will challenge your hope. But in those dark moments, your power lies in choosing to rise again. A man or woman who gets back up one more time than they fall is someone who is undefeated, not by the world's standards, but by their own resolve. Education teaches us about results, grades, rankings, scores, but rarely does it teach us about grit. We are told to succeed, but not often shown how to process failure. And so when it hits, we panic. We feel ashamed. We assume we're not good enough, smart enough, or strong enough. But what if we taught our youth that failure is not the opposite of success? It's part of success. What if we taught them that no great story was ever written without struggle? Every powerful testimony has been shaped by trials, and it is in those moments that character is refined. Even in personal life, failure visits us all. A broken relationship, a lost job, a missed opportunity. These things can cut deep. But here's the truth, they don't define who you are. You are not your worst day. You are not your mistake, and your value is not measured by your setbacks. The only time failure wins is when you let it convince you that trying again is pointless. There is a deeper level to this truth too, spiritual resilience. In every faith tradition, perseverance is celebrated. The trials of life are seen as tests of the heart. When you refuse to give up, you are aligning yourself with a greater purpose. You are trusting that this moment is part of something bigger, that there is a reason to keep walking even when the road disappears beneath your feet. And that trust, that faith, is more powerful than any talent or opportunity, because it holds you up when everything else falls away. Look around at nature itself. A seed must break before it can grow. A caterpillar must struggle in its cocoon before it becomes a butterfly. The diamond forms under pressure. The strongest trees have weathered the harshest storms. Why should we be any different? Why should we believe that our path should be easy, smooth, and instant? Real strength is not avoiding the storm. It's learning to dance in the rain, to push forward when your legs are trembling, to whisper, "Oh, not yet," when the world says it's over. So when you fail, and you will, don't bury your head in shame. Don't retreat into silence. Look at that failure, learn from it, grow through it, and rise again. Because as long as you keep going, failure remains a chapter, not the ending. The most powerful words in any life story are not "I succeeded," but "I didn't quit." Never give up, because your breakthrough might be just one step beyond the point where you were about to turn back. Keep walking, keep believing, and remember, failure is not final unless you quit. Success often appears to be a shining destination at the top of a mountain, but few people see the long and winding path that leads there. That path is rarely smooth. It is filled with obstacles, challenges, and times of deep uncertainty. Yet it is through those very struggles that we learn the most important lessons, not just about our craft or calling, but about who we truly are. The struggle is not an interruption to success. It is the very process that builds it. Every struggle contains a lesson, often one that cannot be taught in a classroom or read in a book. Struggles test our endurance, our patience, and our values. They show us where we're weak and where we're strong. When you face a challenge, you are forced to examine your thinking, your priorities, and your commitment. That kind of self-awareness does not come from ease, it is born in adversity. And once you've walked through hardship and learned from it, you come out more focused, more grounded, and more capable. Consider a student trying to master a difficult subject. At first, it feels impossible. Formulas don't make sense, concepts feel blurry, and the mind wants to give up. But in the struggle of repeated attempts, failures, and gradual understanding, something happens. That student begins to grow in discipline, in resilience, and in the ability to problem solve. And when the breakthrough finally comes, the lesson sticks. Not just the academic lesson, but the deeper realization that hard things can be conquered with persistence and effort. The same principle applies in every walk of life. An athlete learns through every loss how to strengthen their body and sharpen their mind. An artist learns through every rejected piece how to better express their voice. A business owner learns through a setback how to manage, adapt, and lead. The truth is, if success came easily, we would not appreciate it. We would not grow from it. It would not shape us into better human beings. Struggle deepens our character and expands our perspective. Even in relationships, struggles teach us valuable truths. They reveal how we handle pressure, how we communicate, and what we're truly committed to. When two people walk through conflict and come out stronger on the other side, it's because they have learned something essential. How to love in difficulty, not just in comfort. That kind of wisdom and maturity is only found on the road where things aren't easy. There is a certain refining that happens when life doesn't go our way. We begin to shed what is shallow and hold on to what really matters. We learn to appreciate small victories and take nothing for granted. We become more compassionate because we know what it feels like to fall. And when we finally reach the summit of our goals, we don't just stand there as someone who succeeded. We stand as someone who has been shaped, stretched, and strengthened. What makes the struggle meaningful is not the pain itself, but the perspective we gain. If we can learn to ask, "What is this teaching me?" rather than "Why is this happening to me?" we shift our minds from victimhood to growth. Every closed door, every delay, every failure holds a lesson. It may teach you patience. It may teach you creativity. It may even teach you how to let go and trust. But there is always something to be learned, if your heart is open to receive it. Too often, people want the glory of success without the story that leads there. But those stories, the quiet hours of sacrifice, the nights of doubt, the relentless pursuit in the face of discouragement, those are what make the victory meaningful. You don't just win on the outside, you become someone different on the inside. That transformation is the true success. The struggle is the soil in which your future is planted. Seeds don't grow in the sunlight alone. They need the dark, the pressure, and the deep. It's there when nobody's watching, when nobody's applauding, that your roots take hold. And when the time comes to bloom, you'll be ready, not just because you've reached your goal, but because the journey has prepared you to carry it with wisdom, humility and strength. The road to success may be long, but every step taken in struggle carries you forward. And with every lesson learned, you are not only moving closer to your destination, you are becoming the person who is meant to arrive there.